On this day, back in 1984, these two brother and sister, along with their mother, got on a plane to join their father in New York City. I was 13 years old and my sister was 10 when we left our home to start a new life in America. This picture was taken at the Gimpo Airport in South Korea as we were saying goodbye to our family and friends. For months and years before we landed at JFK Airport in 1984, I had dreamt of America. My vision of America back in them days were largely based on American TV shows I watched in Korea, like Eight is Enough, Charlie's Angels, and Chips. I pictured palm trees, sunny skies, large highway systems, clean streets, and smiling faces. As my father drove us from JFK Airport to our first apartment on Cypress Avenue in Ridgewood, Queens, my vision of America was shattered. New York City looked nothing like the California based TV shows I watched growing up in Korea. Our first home was right next to the elevated subway tracks of the M line. So began my life in America to the noisy soundtrack of the M line. Our new life in America was not easy. My parents couldn't find decent jobs, so they had to start their own business with saved and borrowed money, like many other immigrants. The only location they could afford to start their business was in the ghettos of Brooklyn. Drug dealers and hookers were their regular customers. Robberies, gunshots, physical and verbal racist threats became the new norm in our lives. My parents worked 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. They sacrificed themselves without a single moment of self care to make the American dream come true for my sister and I. They worked like dogs so we wouldn't have to. 36 years later, I am blessed to be the father of these two sister and brother. Maddie is 15 years old and Mateo is 9. My wife, Alexis, and I have been married for 26 years. Alexis comes from mixed heritage, largely European and Native American. So my family is multiracial and multicultural. We are our own melting pot. However, there is one less member in our clan, as my father passed away 6 years ago. I now call Lakewood, Colorado home. This home is nothing like the homes I lived in Korea or New York. My mother lives 5 minutes away from us, and my sister just moved out from New York to be with my mom and my family. As a parent now, I can't help but to reflect on the selfless sacrifice my parents made to provide a better life for my sister and I. I am both scared and hopeful as I think about the kind of father my daughter needs me to be and my son needs me to be, so that they have the solid foundation to pursue their own dreams. 36 years ago, I added American to my life, identity, and culture. It has not been a smooth journey. There were many haters along the way cursing at me to get the fuck out of their country. However, there were a lot more people who embraced me, supported me, and treated me as one of their own. I am proud of where I come from. I am proud of where I am. I am proud of where I'm headed. I don't have to choose one, as I am both Korean and American. I'm enough to be Korean and enough to be American. I am enough. I am enough to be me.